I just wanted to make this one up because what I want to do is just kind of go back to what we've talked about. Solving equations, right? Okay. Now, in solving equations, there's a couple things that we look at, and I'm going to show you guys 3 different ways to do this, just to confuse you. No, I'm just kidding. Not 3 different ways to confuse you, but 3 different ways to look at this from what we talked about. All right? The first way is when we have fractions, we don't like dealing with fractions, right? We want to get rid of fractions. So one way to get rid of fractions is to do what?
Cross multiply.
Close. That's going to be one method, but it's not exactly what I'm looking into here. But yes, we will get rid of our fraction by cross multiplying. But I have a different method on my mind. If I just had a fraction, if I just had a general equation with tons of fractions, what could I do to get rid of the fractions? In general. Cross multiplying is correct for this, but if there's, just in general, if I had a fraction, if I had an equation like this, 1/2 x plus 3/4 equals 5/8. What could I do to get rid of all these fractions? I have to multiply every term by the LCD, least common denominator. Okay, I guess we forget go over that. So, let me go back over to explain. Ladies and gentlemen, remember when we had an equation like this? 1/2 x equals 10. What do we do to get rid of the 1/2? We multiplied by what? The reciprocal, right? Or if you just think about it, 2 over 1 is the same thing as 2, but you multiplied by the denominator in the numerator. You took what the denominator is and you put it in the numerator, you multiplied every term. The reason why is that went over to 1. So if I'm looking at this equation and I want to get rid of these fractions, especially I want to get rid of the fraction with the z, I can multiply by the denominator to get rid of that, right? So I can multiply. So if I have z over 3 equals 10 over 6, one thing I can do is I can just multiply by 3 on both sides. Actually, well, what I could do, I'm sorry, if I was talking about this, let's multiply by the least common denominator to get rid of all of my fractions. Therefore, that goes to 2, so I'm left with 2z equals 10. Then divide by 2. Z equals 5. That's method number 1. Method number 2. This is going back to inverse equations. When we want to solve an equation, what is happening to my variable z? Is it being added, subtracted, multiplied, and divided? What's happening? What is that 3 doing? Add, subtract, multiply, divide. Anyone? I know it's early morning, yes.
Divide.
It's being division. It's being divided, right? You have this nice little symbol that says division. So therefore, to undo division, you have to multiply. So let's multiply by 3 on both sides. Therefore, that divides the 1, leaving me with just a z. 10 times 3, remember we can put that over 1. 10 times 3 is 30, divided by 6 equals 5. Hey, look at same answer, right? Now, the third method, which is probably your preferred method, but I want to make sure I show you all the methods, is exactly your demo. So ladies and gentlemen, an easy way to kind of get around doing these both methods is you can also, what we do, cross multiplication. And cross multiplication, though, only works when you have a proportion, meaning you have a ratio equal to another ratio. So by cross multiplying, you have 6z equals 30. Divide by 6, divide by 6, z equals 5. All right? So I wanted to show you guys this. One, I want you to use cross multiplication, but I want you to understand where cross multiplication comes in. It's the exact same thing as doing one of these problems either way. Okay? Yes?
I have a question. Why do you have the 2 on the first example?
Because I did 6 divided.